Now, is this the same period of time? I remember that you mentioned before that someone actually showed you a piece of something.
Yeah.
Was this during the same period of time?
Yes, 51, 52.
Okay, now who showed it to you?
Okay, it was Lieutenant Rose is the one that showed it to me, or Captain Wheeler. Now, it could have been one or the other of those guys because they were both in personnel shoes. And he walked in, and they always like to rag me because they couldn't figure me out. And he threw it on my desk, and it was a piece. Well, it was a piece that's about this big, and it was
about size of a business card.
Yeah, about that size, and a half of this.
Okay.
There, and it was bent like this. And he says, "June, you're a good wrecker. Tear that thing apart. Break that up." And I took it and I bent it and I twisted it and I laid it back down, and it got right back the same shape. I got on my desk. He says, cut it, try cutting it. I got on my desk, I got my scissors out, and I snipped at it, and there was no way I could even cut that piece of metal. And it was as light as a feather. I had it in my hand, and I would say that it didn't weigh as much as these two cards. It wasn't that heavy. It was so light, but strong, and it was the thickness would be about, say, let's see. There's no more. It would be about that thick.
So it's fairly thick, but it doesn't weigh anything.
But it had no weight at all. It was like a feather. And so strong, it was sort of a grayish gunmetal type of color. And you could see that on the inside there was there was a coating on the outside. Both sides of it was the same. And the inside seemed to have a sort of a light lead-colored center to it.
What were the edges of this like? Were they even, or was it like part of something else?
It was even.
It was
all even. And I said, "What is it?" He said, "It's a piece of spaceship." When I, got through with it, and I couldn't do nothing with it, I said, "Well, what is it?" And he says, "Piece of a spaceship." He said, "I just come back from New Mexico, and I brought it with me." See, he had no business having it in the first place, but
So he was breaking security.
Yes, he was. Definitely.
Obviously, in 40 years, and even in my lifetime, being 45, I've seen improvements and changes in materials and plastic and metal. And have you ever? Is it like anything you've seen since?
I always look at things, metal things, and stuff like that, and I still have that curiosity because it still bothers me, and I have yet to see anything that would have those properties and look like that, and so light.